October, we hosted President Obama at La Paz, where many of you have visited. It's a place where my father lived and worked for the last 23 years of his life, where he's buried. And President Obama came to dedicate the Cesar Chavez National Monument, which was also an important event for us who worked to continue my father's work. But you know, the funny thing is that as we've gone around and we've talked to people, you know, people are coming up and they talk about how my father has been a hero to them and kind of put him on a pedestal. And I can't help but to think how my father would have rejected that. You know, he never saw himself as a hero. As a matter of fact, he was always uncomfortable with any type of personal recognition. He rarely let anybody name anything after him. And actually, one of the few things that he did was that here at Arizona State, he accepted an honorary degree from ASU. So that was one of the few things he did, but normally he was very uncomfortable with that kind of stuff. And I think that was because he understood that he didn't do that work by himself, that there was countless of people from all walks of life that made tremendous sacrifices. And he knew that there were many Cesar Chavez's involved in his work. And so I think that was one of the reasons why he was uncomfortable with receiving that type of personal recognition. But one of the things that we've done to help ensure that people understand that his work wasn't done by himself is we've begun this tradition in the movement where we name new projects and new efforts after people that have made tremendous sacrifices to La Causa. And so today's celebration, today's dedication reminds us of all of those countless people that made these sacrifices, whose names are largely lost to history. And at the top of that list surely has to be the Abeytia family. You know, my father, he talked about the difference between being of service and being a servant. He said that being of service are those people, those good, decent people that in their everyday lives commit acts of generosity and charity towards others. But he talked about being of service, being something much more, being a servant, being something much more profound. He said that it took a real personal commitment to do that. And so, you know, he said that being a servant required that you give yourself to a cause that's bigger than yourself. And so when we sat there and we thought about who would fit this bill, the Abeytia family came to mind again. You know, we remember, I was talking to my mom before I came in, and you know, I was telling her about the dedication today, and she began to talk about the old days. And it reminded us that this family went back. I mean, the relationship with my father began way before he began building the United Farm Workers in Delano. It started in the 50s in San Jose, and with the CSO, and we were talking about the 5J market in San Jose, where I think half of the people in this crowd worked right during the summer. But you know, the fact is that the Abeytias have been one of the strongest and most steadfast families that have ever supported this movement. And they've done it in good times and in bad times. You know, they often provided shelter and relief to my father, but not just to my father, but to the people that worked alongside him. You know, they were there during the bitter strikes and those long drawn out boycotts and campaigns and recalls here in the state of Arizona, right? And so they really gave themselves unselfishly to the cause. Some of them worked full time with the movement, you know, basically taking a vow of poverty during that period, living a subsistence lifestyle. And then after his passing, others continued to work to ensure that his legacy remained, you know, burned brightly in the lives and minds of people. And so we're very, very appreciative of that. And that's why for us, the naming of this beautiful new facility for low and very low-income seniors after the Abeytia is a measure of thanks that we owe you for your commitment and sacrifice throughout the years. So on behalf of the foundation, we want to thank you all very much for that. You know, I was looking at the plaque here, and I know that we single out 8 members of the family. It was so big that if we'd done everybody, we would have had to wrap the building probably 4 or 5 times. But I want you all to know that Paseo Abeytia really recognizes all of the members of the Abeytia family that have been so giving and unselfish with their time and support. You know, My father knew that the farm worker movement was bigger than any single individual. If you look at the movement, oops.